Hi everybody, I'm Joey and I basically have been thinking about doing a second YouTube channel because I'm already on AUTHORTUBE because I'm an indie author. I've got 24 books out and I will be continuing to publish over the years. I will say that I've been disabled and chronically ill for basically all my life. Disability really became a big thing when I was 19 in 2001, I think it was, which just shows you how old I am. I'm now 44. I have been a full-time wheelchair user for about 20 years. I have full-time care in home and such like that. It's a bit more different than it used to be because my best friend has been my carer from the start, and she unfortunately had to go and find a job outside of the home because of money and stuff like that. I'm now receiving care from my BFF her child, who, this is going to get complicated. Basically, B and I have been BFFs since we were 13. When B got pregnant with their child, there was basically no other support, so I sort of like became the other parent. So when I talk about B's child, I'm talking about a child that I have known their whole life, and they are now 21. So they stepped into the breach to take care of like the intermittent day-to-day stuff, none of the medical stuff, like none of the intimate care or anything else like that, just the day-to-day stuff that, like, you know, getting squashed or anything else like that that I may need. I would go into my disabilities, but as you can see, I'm in my bedroom, I'm recording on my phone. I haven't yet got to the point where I know if I want to do a channel or whatever about being disabled. I don't know. The big reason that things have changed, because I would normally be very busy with my author life and working and doing that. The reason things changed is because in October of 2025, I had sepsis. I almost died. I was in a coma. And part of the gift that sepsis left me with is my right hand. These three fingers are permanently bent. This finger is the only one that really moves and is of any use. But it also left my whole arm right up to my shoulder and over my back like numb and a lot of nerve pain. So I've had to be sort of like relearning a lot of stuff. And before, while I was a little bit of an ambulatory wheelchair user, I am now even less so that. I have to rely on my wheelchair to get around my house. I have to rely on my wheelchair to pretty much do everything. So while I have a walker that I can use for short distances, we do really mean short distances. And even then, it's not always possible. So why am I making this video? Because the sepsis has basically been the culmination of a couple of years that led to a diagnosis of FND, which is functional neurological disease or disorder. I can't remember. One of my other BFF calls it fucking new diagnosis, which is what sticks in my mind. So I live with my BFF. I live with Mix K, which is BFF's child, and I just basically have spent the past 6-7 months mostly stuck in bed, mostly relearning to do all the things that I could do before the sepsis. But even then, there's some things that I can't do anymore. I can't, you know, do things the way I did things with my author life without more care. So before, I was pretty much independent in that I would get up in the morning, I'd go downstairs, I'd do my work in my office, and then I'd come back upstairs and my day was as I wanted it to be. I did wheelchair walks in the local park 3 times a week, and I haven't done that since October. I haven't done much of anything. The only time I left the house has been for important hospital appointments and stuff like that. And it's kind of hard to work out how much of my life I've missed and hard to work out how much of my life is still available to me. So what I'm doing at the moment is sort of slowly edging back into work. It is like the 8th of May, I think, 2026. And I am in the process of basically getting myself and getting my work into a place where I can go back to the author life, which is what I want. I think most people would want that in my position. I was supposed to be releasing 2 books this year, but that's not happening for obvious reasons. But the plan is to go back to work properly on the 1st of June. And I just kept thinking about how there are some sides of the disability adaptation that I don't want to talk about on AUTHORTUBE because it really isn't relevant to that. But then there are sides of it that I feel like maybe could help other people. And I don't, you know, at 44, I'm an old. I am an old. And I don't know whether I want to be that open on YouTube or anywhere else. But at the same time, I know people might want to see that stuff. So right now I'm recording a video on my phone. It may never see the light of day. But I wanted to basically have a go and see if it's something that I want to do. So right now here is my tablet and keyboard and Torty. That's Miss Tortellini. She checks on me often. So yeah, you can see that I'm basically set up in bed. My carer has just left for her day job because it's Friday. And yeah, I will either update this with another video or I will do something with it. I don't know. It's all up in the air at the moment. I feel like if I'm going to do something, like launch another YouTube channel, it may take time for me to get everything in place. One of the reasons my AUTHORTUBE channel has been so consistent once I got into a routine was because I recorded things a month in advance, which has really helped after basically the sepsis trying to kill me, because it meant that when I eventually would have gone back to work, well now, I didn't have to scramble for video ideas and find myself in a situation where I would have to go back to work a month before I was ready to go back to work. So yeah. There is a lot of adaptation that comes with chronic illness, it comes with disability, and for me, the loss of my dominant hand has been one that I've very much struggled with. The fact that my pain levels have gotten a lot higher because of the nerve pain. The fact that basically some of the reasoning behind why my hand is the way it is because of a bit of gaslighting by people who should have not done what they've done. Long story short, my neurologist diagnosed me with FND, told me that the multiple MRIs I'd had were clear, and they weren't. I had disc degeneration in L5, I have bulged discs in C5 and C6, and I have a lot of nerve damage. But she didn't tell me that. She just said, you have FND, go home, and discharge me from the service. So I have now ended up in a situation that I feel might have been avoidable, but there we go. They do say that it's possible that things will improve. I will say in like the almost 8 months I've been doing the physio and all the rest of it, no. In some ways it's gotten worse. So yeah, it's a lot to deal with. I really struggle sometimes with being open disability wise. I'll talk about it on AUTHORTUBE, I'll mention health stuff, but I don't want to be one of those people that's always kind of like pointing out the bad. But I also don't want to fall into the trap of like toxic positivity, because that's never been something I like to do. So I don't know whether this video will go anywhere. I don't know whether I will post it anywhere. But I'm going to edit it, I'm going to caption it, and I'm going to see where it ends up. Hi, I thought I'd do a video, excuse the torty tail, I thought I'd do a video sitting up in my chair because most of the time I'm in bed when I do these videos. I have decided that I am going to basically go ahead with having a YouTube channel that basically details, excuse the torty tail, basically details my recovery and adaptation back to the author life. Because I know these videos can't be on AUTHORTUBE because they're not really AUTHORTUBE videos. Torty. They're like videos about my recovery after the sepsis and all the things that have happened and the way things have changed for me. And I don't want to sort of like confuse the two, but at the same time, there is like a link to it because I will be talking about my new routine and stuff like that, and basically adapting to things like the fact that my hand is stupid now. So I thought that this could be the first video and introduction. My name is Jerry Paul. I'm an indie author of 24 books across a variety of genres. All of them are young adult. I will have links to them down below, but that's not the focus really. I am disabled. I have been in a wheelchair for 25 years, full-time wheelchair user. In October 2025, I had a new diagnosis of FND, and then shortly after that, I had sepsis. Two aren't linked, it's just I don't remember much of October, so in my mind, the two are linked. One did not cause the other, put it that way. I was in a coma for a week in ICU, and when I woke up, my hand and arm were basically semi-paralyzed, but also not at the same time. It's a long story. I'm not going to go into it here. I will maybe do another video about that. But at the moment, it is May 12th, I think, and I plan to basically do this video and keep you all updated on the changes in my routine. Before the sepsis, I was very much organised. I think that's the best way to put it. I had my routine. I would write, some days, and I would work other days, and, I kept up with like videos and stuff like that on AUTHORTUBE, but that's all changed. I haven't been to work since I think a couple of days before the sepsis happened, because I have like no memory of what actually happened. And just waking up in the hospital, and even then things are hazy. My memories aren't really very good until about January. I was only in hospital about 2 weeks, I think it is. And it's just been a long road to recover. So yeah, I'm going to keep you updated. I will post videos on Mondays. I'm not going to say every Monday because that's a lot. And I don't know whether I'm capable of that right now, but we shall see. As I said, there is obviously there is obviously some like crossover because, this recovery is down to something that caused me to sort of like lose my routine as a writer. And I want to kind of document the way back. So there we go. Yeah. We have 4 cats. I have one who, this is Miss Tortellini. The tail you keep seeing is Miss Tortellini. She and her sister will be 6 in July, and we have 2 tabbies, and they will be 18 in August, I think. But either way, yeah. So Torty is basically bonded with me. She has been since the moment we brought her home. And when what happened, she was not happy that I didn't book my leave from home in advance. And when I got home, she was kind of upset with me for about an hour. And after that, she was like, okay, if I watch you constantly, you can't leave me alone again. I say leave you alone again. My bed was still there. She could have slept on my bed. She could have gone to B. She could have gone to Mix K. But no, she wanted mummy. And sadly, I was elsewhere. So yeah, she has been very aggressive in the nice, loving way, making sure that I get all the kitty love. And that I don't disappear again. Like we go out some days and she's just like, yeah, you better come back, because if you don't, I'm gonna leave a sternly worded review. So yeah, hopefully, Torty. Let me show you her. Tortellini. Hello, Papa. Yeah, she doesn't mind me stroking her with my bad hand, because it's still a stroke. But her sister is weird. Her sister sometimes minds, but yeah, she doesn't mind. Torty. Hello, Papa. Yeah. But yeah, I'm going to edit this and... Oh, she's now loving up the phone. I'm going to edit this and caption it. And then I will see you all when I post it. But as I said, it's going to be Mondays when I can, basically. It might turn out to be something where it's every Monday, but yeah. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you'll subscribe. But as I said, I don't know how long these videos will go on. I'm just trying to get back to being an author, basically. But thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.